Bryce loading up. Yes, welcome.
Hello.
Test. Let me get a test on your audio real fast. So check.
Test.
All
1,
right, we
2.
got the audio
Hey.
levels are good. We are good. Hopefully the visuals are coming up. What up from San Diego? I'm just reading chat. But
Gotcha.
everybody else is officially on time if they get here in the next minute.
Nice. Let's do it.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. What up?
Hello, guys.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Everybody say hi to all the wonderful guests we have today. Admit. We're admitting. Admit. I like letting people into the room. I like that kind of. I don't know why. It's just fun.
That power.
Yeah, it's like it. Well, it's just like yes, you can come in. Yes, you can. I feel like I'm opening my front door on my computer. Yeah, but I don't know if you guys have some friends in chat. Feel free to shout them out. But I have one special friend named Captain Lasagna, who's our mod, who's nothing but good vibes, and he's here to make sure everybody's on the right page and the same page. And his name is Captain Lasagna, so make sure you say hi, Connor. And
what is name?
Captain Lasagna.
Yeah, I don't know. Where did you get that from, Connor? Is that a thing I don't know about, or is it just everybody can see me renaming myself?
Oh, we forgot to do that.
It's all good. No rush. I went live on Instagram to try to get people to come on here because I was like, oh, I haven't gone live on Instagram in ages. I don't know if anybody does that. I don't know. Do you guys use Instagram Live?
Don't know Instagram.
What'd you say?
I said don't know an Instagram.
Yeah.
Last time I was on Instagram Live was for a Tiger King review, so.
What, you were doing them?
Yeah, I was doing a Tiger King review on Instagram Live.
Crucial content.
It was all the rage for a hot minute.
Honestly, I mean, and Florida represented perfectly well.
I would say perfectly accurate. I don't know if well's the right way.
It was accurate. It was very accurate.
Yeah, we got 2 people in Florida here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you guys at in Florida?
I'm in Gainesville.
Lewis is king.
I'm in Orlando.
Oh, nice. Gainesville is college town. Also, I don't know how familiar everybody is with Lewis's setup, but he's a plant lord right now. Those plants behind him is a small amount of what he's been growing.
I have 125 plants growing in my house right now.
Is that like a Corona thing or?
No, it's actually just a little obsession I have, and I turned it into a little small business, and then it just honestly takes over my entire house.
Let's go. That's great. We got Tom Falcone and Josiah Van Dien in here. So make sure they came to say what's up, which is great because I know they're both working men. And we got Sky, who I was very excited to have. I think that they were very excited for this, and they were bummed because they were going to miss it. They have an exam, but they're here, so that's great.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys for bringing all your friends. It'll be a good hangout. I don't know. I guess to start, if you guys just want to kind of go around and tell people, I'll just say we've got people from the LGBTQIA plus community here. What we have in common is everybody's a photographer. All these people are photographers, so we're going to talk about that stuff, photographer stuff. I don't know. You want to start, Bryce? Kind of say where you're from, what you do.
Yeah.
That vibe.
Well, I'm Bryce, and I am a touring photographer / videographer from Florida. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's all you need to say.
All right, good.
Yeah.
We got the first one down.
Yeah. Carter, you want to hit it next?
Sure. I'm Carter. I am a tour photographer and kind of creative director from Boston in Los Angeles, and my pronouns are he and they.
Okay. Thank you. Whoever wants to go, you can just go. It's like a free-for-all. You can cut each other off. It's whatever. All right, Acacia, go.
Okay, hi, I'm Acacia, originally from New Jersey, but I live in Nashville now. I've lived here for 7 years. I do kind of a mix of things. I started touring last year, but prior to that, I just shoot a lot of up-and-coming country artists, which is cool.
That's very Nashville of you.
Yeah, very natural, very on brand. And I just started getting a little bit into like music video directing, so we'll see how that goes.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm Louis Velez. I'm a touring photographer and portrait photographer based out of Florida. That's about it.
And I'm Ellie. I'm from the UK, and I do music, touring, photo things. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Are you guys nervous? Are people nervous right now? Are you guys all good? You're
Oh,
nervous?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're all nervous?
Just
Oh
a
my
bunch
god.
of You're anxious people. Woo!
I know, right? Like photographers unite. It's like, hey, I got a camera. Don't talk to me. I'm gonna be in the corner at the party.
First FaceTime me just before this, and we both were like,
Yo, I promise it gets like. What'd you say?
we were like, we hope people turn up and ask questions. But, yeah, so that's good.
Yo, but we could just like talk, and it doesn't even like. I don't know. I feel like it gets easier the deeper in we go. Like we'll get into a flow, and you'll forget we're just feel like we're all FaceTiming. But people, yeah, if in chat anybody has questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we're probably just gonna riff as we do.
Yep.
But I'm just happy like so many people came to support because I don't know, like I it's good to have you guys on here, but it's important to me that like people come and like that's the community in my opinion. So I don't know. What is that like? I don't know. I feel like it feels good. What do you guys think?
Pride Month extension, you know?
What'd you say?
But it's a little Pride Month extension.
Yeah, let's go. Like
We're a little past it, but it's okay.
I'll admit, like I'm kind of like guilty of not knowing exactly how long everybody's in the photography industry. But I would say when I started, like I'm 15 years ago, so I started when I was pretty young, and there wasn't like this kind of community vibe. So it feels nice.
I think it's the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the social media spike since then, for sure.
Oh, the social media existence.
Yeah.
I also think it's like a maturity thing too. Like I remember, you know, I think a lot of us started shooting when we were teenagers, and I feel like at the beginning there's like a lot of feistiness, and we're all kind of just like young and like a little competitive
Mm-hmm.
and like, annoying almost. And now
Whoa,
that we're all
whoa.
I'm speaking for myself. I was like looking back as me as a photographer as a teenager. I was like, oh, I'm so cringy. But like now it's like let's all work together, and like it's such an amazing community. But I don't feel like it was always like that. I feel like it's developed a little bit, you know.
Well, I feel that for sure coming from Florida. I feel like Florida photographers are just so cutthroat.
Yeah.
It can be like
So cutthroat.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I wish it was an age thing, but I don't think it is. Just because I feel like the people I looked up to were even like that when I was a kid. Like only a few of them would email me back, or like you know they wouldn't like tell me their secrets and things like that. And I'd be like, what? What is
Ah,
do you know what I mean though? Like I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
so I feel like it's important to have people like you guys on here, showing that like even though if you're an established photographer, you can still talk to people and relate and help each other out.
I mean, it's not exactly a very common thing to like be doing. Like our job is not a super relatable / common thing for like most people. So like very like specific experience, and like to be able to share that with people, I feel like is special.
I vibe too.
I agree.
Favorite Beth wants to know your guys. Well, we can just get into these. Like, all right, Josiah. Josiah texts me in the middle, which is fine. But I'm just like, it was something. It's a good thing. It's for chat. But somebody just wanted to know, like, your guys. We can start off with a really easy question, very basic, and we can just say, what's your guys' favorite moment being a photographer from Beth? And you know, it could be anything for any reason. Maybe tell them why it's your favorite moment if it stands out to you.
Honestly, my favorite moment of being a photographer has probably been when I booked my first tour ever. And that was on Warped Tour, like 2017, 2016. And that was a testament in itself, just like being in a van with 8 people, and everything and anything happened on that tour. But that was just like such a big moment to me, like one of my favorite moments that's ever happened.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for me, it sticks out of a lot of stuff that sticks out of my head is when you have those things that are like a big level up, or like a big, like a jump almost. Like everything feels gradual, or like it's cool. I got a shoot with, I got $500, then I got 600, but when you're like, oh, I got like a lot, like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool to go from like, I remember like coming up and shooting local shows, and I would even look at like your portfolio, and I'd be like, damn, it's gonna be so cool when I can eventually have photos from like all over the world in my portfolio. And then I did that, and it's just going back and looking at those moments and being like dang, I hope I get flown out to somewhere to shoot and get paid for it. And then, in the middle of doing that constantly now, I have to think back, and I'm like, younger me would be so stoked that like this is all you wanted when you were younger, and like now it's happening, and you're like, oh, it's just a gradual like, yeah, level up.
Yeah, that's an important point, huh? To be like,
I have to go with Bryce. It's like, and Lewis, like doing Warped Tour, especially being from the UK, was like a bucket list thing. And then yeah, traveling around and meeting all these guys, especially Lewis and Bryce through touring, and it's probably a couple of years now at least. Yeah, it's like wouldn't change it for the world. And then the coolest thing most recently was getting booked to do a Kim Petras tour supporting Camila Cabello on an arena tour in Europe, and then Miss Verona hit.
but you got booked, and you did it. Yeah.
I resigned at my part-time job because I was like, see you suckers, I'm gonna live the high life. And then I was like, no. That was, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the hard part for everybody right now. I feel like a lot of people's plans just were put on pause. But what about Acacia or Carter? Do you guys have any like big moments that stand out in your head?
I think for me, I felt like everything was like, I felt so fulfilled like last September. The artist I was on tour with got a spot at Red Rocks, and that was just like being able it was the weirdest feeling, like being able to go and like see all like the writing, like all the signatures on the inside of that like tunnel, and like running from the back like to the front of just like this insanely moving space.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, okay, I'm good.
You're like, is this real life?
I was like, yeah, I'm good. I can die happy now. Yeah, that was the best moment for me, probably.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we all just have these like full circle moments, whether it was like people we listened to when we were younger and then we finally get to shoot them. And I remember like growing up, I was a huge Demi Lovato fan, like obsessed with Demi Lovato, thought she was the greatest. And then like, as a lot of us shot for publications or whatever, and I finally got a photo pass to shoot Demi Lovato, and I was just sitting in the pit and like tearing up a little bit just because I was like, this is so full circle. And I think that was like the first moment where I was like, whoa, like I'm in this. Like I think I can do this, I don't know.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, I think that, I don't know about you guys, but if you do like other types of photography, I'm not super familiar. Like I know that music photography is hard to make money off of, especially for when you start or anybody starts. But I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like I can really like show myself through my music photography, and that's not always possible with other types of photography. I don't know. Do you guys feel that at all, or like music portraits or anything? Like I don't know. Like wedding shots, it's like a little bit I could, but it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like their wedding. But music, I can really like this is what I want to show about music. I don't.
I agree. I think it's more creative freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You can. I feel like a lot of us are moody, kind of, So it's cool to be able to like express different emotions in different parts of your life through photos of artists who are, like singing about similar things, maybe.
Yeah.
Great.
Being somebody, let's see, we have Kearney Flakes wants to know what it's like being part of the LGBTQIA plus community and working in the music industry. Have you found a community within the industry?
No
rush.
It's I guess I can go from both angles with it, but it's great to be a part of the community, but it's not necessarily represented very heavy within, at least our little music industry. And I don't know if that's anyone's fault. I think it's just because, there aren't a whole lot in our community. I mean, even though like, you know, when we've done Warped Tour, like, yeah, you know, the people will get together, you know, who, you know, are in the same community, and, you know, we will hang out, but there's not, I still feel like there's a lot of, like when people find out that I'm gay and on a tour, because usually people just immediately just think, oh, he's straight,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever. So, you know, I have to listen to a lot of guy talk in the bus of, you know, throwing around, you know, different things here and there. And, you know, I'm not going to be somebody that the second I hear that, you know, puff up a storm, especially, you know, I mean, it's like we all know being here, you know, when you're a photographer on tour, it's not like you hold rank in any kind of way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're lowest in the totem pole, even if there's girlfriends and
Along
boyfriends.
for the ride.
Exactly. So, you know, don't want to cause a fuss, you know, you don't want to start out with like, whoa, first day, you know, new photographers, you know, causing drama or whatever. But, you know, and then there's always the turning point. Like I know with a few bands I've worked with, you know, it's been the same thing, a big guy crew and everyone, you know, talks the way they do. And then, you know, the second they find out, you know, they're very apologetic, and I'm not looking for an apology. I just need you to understand that like we exist and we are going to be working the jobs that are right beside you as well. You know, it's not like it's not like, oh, you know, everyone that's in, you know, the LGBTQIA community, they only work for these kind of artists or whatever. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
nope, I'm going to be on your heavy metal tour, and I'm going to be there, and whether you like it or not, and I'm still going to get my job done, and nothing's going to change.
That's
Like
fair.
the normalizing of everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I agree, yeah.
Very well said. I agree. Shelly wants your silver tooth shirt, by the way. They asked in chat for your silver tooth shirt.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like being in the industry, it's like when you get to find out, you know, someone that identifies LGBTQIA, like you really keep them close to your circle, because these are people that are gonna like have the same experiences that, you know, you're on tour or you're working with other people who aren't considered LGBTQI, and they're just like the best support system that you can have if you have any problems or you can't relate to certain conversations that are happening. So I definitely think the community, once you find it, it's very strong and supportive.
I think there's a really fine line between like keeping the pride that you like have and deserve as a queer person, and also trying to find that level of like normalization with like on tour too, just because it's such an it's like an intimate space, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's such an emotionally kind of intense and fragile space for everybody. And like, I mean, yeah, like Bryce was saying, there's just so much guy talk, and it's like that's definitely like,
What's guy talk? I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but can you like without like from total place of ignorance, can you tell me what that means? Like, is that like overly like I'm not very manly, so I don't know if I could like, I don't know. Can you explain it to me?
I think a lot of it stems from the ignorance that I feel like all of us, or at least most of us, had, you know, growing up and throwing around slurs that, you know, we, you know, would use the time to be funny,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then, you know, growing up and realizing that, oh wait, I am one of those people who I was trying to make fun of at the time. And, you know, and you grow up and you learn and you realize that, oh, you know, the things that I said, you know, back in middle school or high school, you know, wasn't right, especially for myself now, because I'm also in a community where I would hate for someone to say that to me or me to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you get a bunch of people on a bus together who don't necessarily know each other that well, so it's still kind of a surface level, but when it's just a bunch of guys together, I feel like it tends to like, they don't care about being politically correct, you know, especially if they're in a space where they think it's all, you know, straight men in the bus, you know, they will say things about women, say things about, you know, oh, gay this, gay that, you know, and not necessarily they don't mean anything by it, and I'm not condoning it in any way. I just know it happens all the time. But I feel like that's just where it stems from. It's just kind of speaking freely and not having to be, you know, PC around people, because I feel like people feel like even if they don't believe it, they have to be PC, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
public and around groups of people. Yeah, I hope I explained that right. I feel like I lost track halfway through.
No,
But
I think you did a great
I
job.
hope that gets the point. Yeah.
I better understand. And Carter, if you want to pick up where you left off, I apologize for asking that question. I just wanted to clarify what it meant.
well, I guess for me it's different just because I was kind of to be full transparency, I was like presenting as a girl, like as a cis bi girl, like not that long ago on tours. And so it feels better to be in a space where I'm able to be more myself and like be more open about kind of being more non-binary. But so as I was still like in the closet and presenting as a girl, like that was the strangest thing, like being in a space where like all this talk, like just super hyper masculine talk was like going on around me. And I guess it's just like super normal. It was, I guess, super normal for the people that were around me. Different artists, I think I was more aware of like how like it would happen when they knew I wasn't going to be there, like in a moment for a second. And then the minute I came in, like it would like stop. And like, that was, I mean, I guess that's good, but it also just made me feel weird. Like, I'm like, why is this?
They're acknowledging that they know it's wrong.
Yeah. Or
Happening.
I don't know.
On.
What?
It's just interesting because it's still happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not like I can hear you guys like, yeah, talking about it. But yeah, so especially just because I was like, this doesn't really relate to me, like, you know. So yeah, that's the experience that I've had. I've never been like a target of it, which I guess is lucky / a privilege, but yeah, being around it in a really, really small space is like not like you're living in a house. It's like you're on
you're basically in everybody's room. You're in everybody's bedroom always. It's like what was I gonna say? Does anybody else have anything to add on to that? I was gonna say.
I definitely on tour, like I don't walk in being, like declaring my sexuality. I definitely feel like most of the issue is that the guy talk is definitely very real, especially because usually most time I'm the only girl on a tour, and I'm sure like everyone can relate to being the only one that's maybe different to all the stereotypical straight guys that are on a tour. And you definitely like I saw someone comment like, how do you deal with like what's the solution to address guy talk on tour? And it's, you know, like if it's directly affecting you and you think it's really like, one, do you want to be around that? You know, like obviously you've been booked for a tour, but you know, like there has to be a point where it's like, okay, something's joking, but there is a line where it becomes offensive and disrespectful, and you have to be adult about it. And like you can either speak to that person one-to-one on the side, I feel like, and just be like, hey, like I don't personally think it's very funny, you know, like make the jokes in your head if you want to, but not don't say it out loud. You know, and you can speak to the tour manager too. Obviously if it's like the first day of tour and, you know, like you might come across annoying. So like, I don't know, not everyone shows their true colors in the first few days of tour. And if it's something you're truly not happy with, then you should bring it up, but like try and do it in the most constructive way rather than sounding like you're complaining, even though it's not right of them to be doing. There's ways about doing it. Definitely.
I was just going to say, like, a thing that we might all know, and maybe people who haven't toured don't know, is that touring is a very delicate, like, social thing. And the way to bring stuff up, the when you bring it up, who you bring it up to, why you're bringing it up, if you can even bring it up, all come into play. And that's why it's so difficult for these people to navigate this, is because it's like you were saying, you know, you don't want to be annoying, or you know, you don't want to make people feel like all these things. It's a really difficult area to navigate, and yeah. So I just wanted to kind of say that for people who maybe haven't toured, that it's not as easy as like you're hanging out with one of your friends and they say something wrong. You're like, hey, don't do that. This makes me feel this way. It's harder when somebody's your boss or somebody is, you know, it's a weird thing. I don't know. Have you guys? Somebody asked, you know, how do you confront it? Like, have you confronted it, and what's your experience if you've had to do that?
I've had a tour where a certain band member, like throughout most of the tour, was pretty degrading, not about me, but just how they spoke to me and always putting me down, even though I was doing everything I was meant to do and everyone else in the band was happy. And I spoke to one of the band members that I felt closest to, and I was like, hey, like I feel not good about being on this tour right now. And it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks into it. And like I tried to push through and I just had to say like, can I speak to you about it? And I spoke to them and they said, well, like I hear what you're saying, but we just don't want to upset this band member, so we can't really do anything about it. So I just had to finish till the end of the tour and just suck it up and deal with it. Even, you know, like every day I was not happy, but I couldn't go home at this point. And I didn't want to make it look bad for them if I just dropped off a tour. But sometimes it does go well, and sometimes most people don't even realize how they come across until you bring it up from a different perspective in a nicer way, I guess.
Yeah.
It's tough because you don't want to seem like you're complaining. You know, you should be. A quote that my friend said when I was like on Warped Tour 2016, and they said you go on tour to do a job, not to make friends. And as harsh as that sounds, it's true. Like making friends is like a bonus out of it. You know, if you're hired, you do the job, great. And sometimes it takes a full tour to even start being good friends with the people that you're on tour with. But yeah, I definitely think that statement of like you're not there to make friends, you know, you're there to work, and if you make friends it's a bonus. You know, and sometimes it's great being on tour and sometimes it's like it's okay, you know, you get to do what you love every day, but are you in this like surrounding of all the people that are inviting you out to get food or be friendly? Sometimes not, sometimes it's pretty lonely, but it's
Oh yeah.
you know, to do a job. Yeah, and if you make friends, it's a bonus. And I'm glad I've met many friends. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I don't know. I just want to say, Jordan Nice in the chat too. I just want to say that yeah, you're right. You know, sometimes you just do a job, and it's somebody said, you know, it's not considered annoying to bring it up. I wouldn't say that. It's just it's really hard to explain if you've never been on tour. And I don't mean that. I'm not saying that because I can't explain it to you. I'm just struggling to find a way to put you in the position that these people are in, that we're all in on tour, and how you bring these things up. It's a really big, like, you almost have, I don't know. How do you guys explain it to people, like touring, if you can? It's hard.
Interesting. A completely different environment than anything you will ever experience, probably. Yeah, everything is just navigated much differently than it would in like a normal job. You know, like I feel like what we do is already so like from the outside kind of crazy. And touring is even crazier, and you just have to approach everything much differently and much more delicately, and you have to think through everything differently. And like we kind of talked about before, just like me personally being an anxious person, and then add like the delicacy of how you have to handle touring is definitely a mind game.
Dude, it's so hard. Can we all,
Yeah.
is everybody here anxious? Is that like a thing? Are we just all anxious people?
I've never been anxious in my life.
You've never been anxious?
I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's cool if you're not. Like, that is fine. I just thought that was like kind of a cool thing that maybe most people were relating on.
Yeah. Super high anxiety the first time, especially like being like, yeah, just being a girl like was so scary, surrounded by a bunch of guys like super young. Like
I can't imagine.
like I think I first started when I was like 19, and that was just, or 18, and that was just like like just skyrocketing, like tiptoeing. Like you have no idea like if you're gonna say the wrong thing, or like, especially because you're in a position job wise that kind of forces you to be on all the time.
Oh yeah.
And so when you're like, even when you're not on duty, you're like on duty. So
do you want to explain to people what it means to like be forced to be on? Like, what does that look like in practice? Do you know? I know we all know what that means, but what does that look like? Like, maybe walk somebody through like a normal life situation, and then a situation where you have to be on to.
Oh man.
Thank you for those gift subs.
I guess it really depends on the day, because I would say you really have to to know like like what you need, like what a group needs, like an artist team needs from the beginning of a day to the end of a day. Like that should be like really like in your head, and like at the same time, like if you, I don't know, it's so complicated because I feel like I know when I've like finished for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can feel it. Like, but until you get there, like it's a matter of just like being a kind of fly on the wall. And that is like a super active role. So I guess it's just a matter of just like being, but also you need to be like warm enough as a person and like an outgoing enough person to be able to like not be like a weird person in the back.
It's like a balancing act, right? It's like, okay, you basically have to like consciously make decisions all day that you wish could just not be, like you wish could be like just normal things, but they're not. Like you have to be like, am I going to say hi to this person right now, or am I going to let them do their thing and just photograph them? Like everything you do, he's saying is under a microscope, and is basically you have to be on because everything is seen. Like everything is, and like you're living in somebody's bedroom. Like every move you do, every word you say, every smell you create from the food you eat, like all those things are under a microscope. So being on tour is like, it takes a while to just learn how to exist. And
also the thing that I did not factor in was the fact that I was going to be under a microscope.
Yeah. You're like, wait, I'm taking the pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody, like all the people on tour are like going to be watching you too. Like, you know, it's definitely a two-way microscope.
Yeah. Wear all black, try to hide. Leave me alone.
For like staying on, like even though when we have off days, we know they're not really off days. You could have work to catch up with, and then all of a sudden the band could be like, hey, we're gonna go do something cool, and you could be mid-edit, and you're like, although you want to be like, I'm in the middle, you still have to have your camera, even if all your gear's packed up and you're like set on just editing that day. Too bad. You have to go do those things. Like that's your job. Even on off days, there's no switching off, or like it could be after the show you've uploaded all the photos to Dropbox or whatever thing you use, and then they could be like, oh, someone's getting tattooed in the back of the bus, you need to come film or take pictures of it, and you could have packed all your stuff away nicely, gotten in your pajamas or whatever, and you have to be like
too early,
half asleep and just taking pictures and filming and doing whatever they say basically. It's if you lay down and it looks like you're doing nothing, people are probably thinking, are they really done with all their work? Even if you are, it's like you feel like, oh no, I should be doing something. If you're not doing something, then it feels like, oh no, am I being
hurry up and wait.
It's like a whole group chat being started with everyone in the tour, like so and so's in the bed.
What do you guys like about tour? Like what do you think is like? I think everybody said like they all have these moments that made them feel like really good. Like what do you guys like? What about tour do you guys like the most? And what, like, obviously we're being the opposite of touring now that we're home alone. But I don't know. What do you guys like about that vibe? That's not that hard of a question. Come on.
I feel like I personally love the reason that I wanted to get into touring is because I just love the fan interaction part so much, and like because I, as a young teenager, was a big fangirl, and then realizing that I did want to work in music, I now want to like shine light on those people, because it's just such like an amazing, wonderful thing to like watch fans interact with their favorite artists, and I want to like capture that and be a part of that all the time. So like I even love doing like the meet and greets, because like sometimes photographers, we're doing merch or we're doing VIP or whatever, and like I enjoy the VIP stuff because I just love the fan interaction, and just like being able to see that every day just like kind of like lights a little fire in me, so that's what I love.
I think being able to share the artist's life through to the fans is very important, and I think that's such a cool thing to be able to be a part of. You're basically like the messenger for the artist, documenting some like really intimate moments that most people don't really get to see at a concert, so I think that's the most rewarding part of it that I like to do about touring.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I really like the traveling. I just I really enjoy just being in a different place every day. It's just fun. It's fun to wake up and like go find a new coffee spot, or yeah, to see the fan interactions, because you get some shows where obviously you're right in the front row, and some shows are like, okay, they're not very rowdy tonight, and then some shows are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see the different energy, and then you watch the band pick up on the energy, and they're more willing to give you you know more theatrics, more in your face stuff. If they're like, oh, this crowd's going great tonight, like they're really into it,
Hmm.
compared to like a night where it might not, you might be in the middle of nowhere in Iowa or somewhere. But I just really enjoy and I do it all the time, and I
No
don't
offense,
even mean
Iowa.
to, but I just say, hey, where are we at today, or what state are we in, or what time zone are we in, or it's and as much as like that also might be a reason why touring can get very like tiring, it's still one of my favorite parts.
I was gonna. I have a quick question from two people in chat that I wanted to. You guys can just kind of machine gun these before we get to Steph's question, because it's a pretty good one. Um, favorite tour snack and favorite artist to shoot. Go.
The mac and cheese.
On the last tour that I did, one of the band members always put vegan jerky on the rider.
Ooh.
And it's the best thing I've ever had, and now I buy that exact vegan jerky off Amazon all the time. And that's
What's it called?
Primal Strips.
If you pulled up a bag right now, that'd be so funny.
It's in my kitchen, but Primal Strips, really good. Highly recommend.
Worst name.
Primal Strip. Yo, you got that Primal Strip?
I don't know, whatever.
I do
Lunchables.
cereal. I do edit, like when I
Lunchables.
edit after a show, I'll sit there with most of the time you don't have bowls, so I'll get whatever plastic cups the rider has given us, and I'll pour cereal with like oat milk or something, and just sit there editing with one hand and eating cereal with the other.
Yes.
But after show cereal is always a good one.
I think it ended up being pistachios and like nuts, like protein, like just like anything that makes sure that I could sustain myself between shows. And cheese.
Energy.
Always,
man. Cheese always.
Cheese. I think for me, my favorite was favorite artist. I think my favorite artist to shoot it wasn't my artist, but I loved shooting the 1975. I think that was my favorite.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're like art live.
Exactly. Like it felt like an art installation. But yeah, lighting wise.
I'm gonna ask Steph. I think this is Steph Mirsky, who good friend of ours. I don't know if you know them from Work Tour World, but their question was, what can people off the road in the industry do to better support you all on the road? Managers, agents, marketers, if you could ask for anything as a member of the LGBT community by those typically doing the hiring, or those who have the ability to change the situation for you all. So, like, now I understand taking a while to think. That's a deep one.
Oh, I have one actually. A tour that I was about to tour with Chon, and it was the first time I was going to work for them, and the tour manager, one thing that I found really cool was they did an intro email with me, and then they kind of said, they were like, oh, we'll be on tour with, and they listed all the band members' names and like the crew members' names, but they put their pronouns too.
Oh, cool.
I found that real cool, and they were just straight up like, we don't tolerate, like we're a very accepting group. Everyone, let us know your pronouns, how you identify and everything, so everyone can be respectful and aware of, how people are. And I found that it was like the first time I've ever experienced someone being that direct about something like that, which I found really cool.
That's awesome. What band was that?
Chon,
Okay.
like the instrumental guitar-y.
That's great. Good for them. I know it's like a newer thing, not newer, but within the past few years to.
I would say newer for sure.
Yeah.
I wish everyone did that. That's incredible.
Yeah, let's go.
I got it and sent it to my boyfriend. I was like, look at this. No one ever does this.
And it's so easy too, right? It's not like it costs money or it's really hard. It's just like, hey, type these 2 sentences and then put a little label, and it helps so many people who would feel otherwise not Like, I mean, you're bringing it up as like a thing that stood out to you, which is
Yeah.
says so much in itself.
Yeah, I think people need to just be more, as far as like what managers and like the people booking the shows and the venues and anyone can do is just, making sure that you don't have anybody on your staff or on your crew that would be anti anybody. I mean, touring itself is such a reward to do that when you get those kind of people in there as well, it's almost a little like, what are you doing? Like, why are you in this line of work then if you're not, you want people to accept you for just
Mm-hmm.
being covered in tattoos and being a roadie, so why wouldn't you, accept everybody else? But I think maybe off the bat, like what you can do is, yeah, just making sure that like even the people that are working the venue and everything, like they're just good people and they know off the bat, like when you hire them, be like, we have artists come through here who are a part of the LGBTQIA community. We have people who are touring that are like that, and even if they aren't on the bus, nobody wants to hear anything, racist, homophobic, sexist, misogynistic, like anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Anything that's not loving. Like,
exactly.
just
It's
get out
like,
of here.
because that's got to be the worst thing ever, is feeling uncomfortable on tour and knowing that you have to sleep less than 6 feet away from somebody who hates you for just existing.
Mm-hmm.
And it should never be like that. You should never have to work at a venue that's like that, and you as an artist or a crew member or even a photographer, shouldn't have to walk in a venue and be afraid that the staff working the venue is going to say something, or going to make comments. And I think just making sure that you hire good people and people are well aware right off the bat, like, hey, we hire anybody and everybody. So if you're not okay with that, don't apply or don't
Yeah.
come back on the road.
It's crazy to me that still like that has to be taught. Like it's so. I mean, I know it does, but it's still like I'm at a loss to like people who hate somebody because of those things. I'm just like, what world do you exist in? I mean, I know it's. What'd you say, Acacia?
I think that all the time.
Yeah.
The fact that we even have to still be talking about this is kind of mind blowing. It's like, just let everyone do their thing. Who
Yeah.
cares what anyone else is doing? Let them do their thing. Love them for who they are.
I also think it's really important for management and agencies to go ahead and like do like miniature background searches on the people you're hiring, because I think a lot of times they just receive a resume
Mm-hmm.
and work experience that they've had, and that's good enough for them to hire that person, but don't actually know how this person reacts or interacts with people online or shows their true colors on the internet. So I think it's very important to do that as an agency or management.
I agree. I have to go through that when I get to go through that when I source people for this, because I don't want people who are like promoting hate or anything like that, because that's like the opposite of the goal of this.
Yeah.
Just yeah. Does anybody else want to chime in on anything that?
Well, I was wondering, do you guys usually tell people like off the bat, or is it something that just is like found out or like talk? Like I wouldn't say that I like lead with it at all. I mean, not in like a like I wouldn't probably mention anything until like it was brought up.
Yeah, I'm very like fly on the wall when it comes to the first couple days of a tour, especially with somebody new. So unless it's directly asked to me or something, I usually don't say it, because again, I'm there for work. I don't want anyone to judge me off the first week based off of something that has nothing to do with them in any way, shape, or form. But if I'm asked a direct question, then yeah, usually I'll just straight up say it, but it's definitely not in my introductory, like when meeting somebody, I definitely don't say it. And I think that's because of what Ellie had said earlier, where it's like you're there to do a job and I don't need anyone to judge me or my work based first off of, like I said, something that has nothing to do with them. And a lot of people, they will do that. They have a stigma about you right away. So
Yeah, it's quite personal.
yeah, it has nothing to do with anybody. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Sorry, go. No,
So I think then, and like we said before, I think the normalizing is really important. So I agree with that.
I was just, as you guys were talking earlier, I was just trying to think in my head, like I've done a lot of tours, and I was trying to think like who I've toured with. That is there like a blanket statement for me to say other than LGBTQIA, or is that the correct way to kind of refer to it? Does that make sense? That question? Do I say that?
I usually say queer.
Okay. So if I were to say like I'm not sure if I've toured anybody that is queer. Is that correct, or do I say identify?
I think either.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure if I've toured with anybody that's queer. The only person I could think of was Lewis. And then I was thinking, I was like, I don't really ask that question. Like it's just like a thing that doesn't occur to me. And the only reason I knew that he was is probably because he told me. And other
Yeah,
than that,
I feel like I don't really tell people that I'm gay on tour. I think it's very, I will say I'm very gay on tour, but I definitely don't like go on tours saying that, hey, I'm gay, you know. It just kind of shows. Definitely not discreet
it
about
embodies you.
it. And I mean, I also have it on my Instagram account. So I mean, if you're gonna hire
Mm.
me, most of the time my bio has like a pride flag on there. So
Has a what? What'd you say? Pride?
it has the pride flag on
Oh,
there.
okay. Listen.
I feel like I'm very like openly queer on social media, so you probably just know because I'm just very outspoken about it, and also like living in Nashville. There's a good community here, but we still are trying to get some people of the South to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
South's
yeah,
wild.
it's a wild time for sure.
Trying to read one of these questions. I just want to say, Alicia, I'm not quite sure on that question what it means. I could try to ask it to you guys. Maybe you guys understand it and I don't. But they want to know if you guys feel like working with artists that have a lot more of a following versus the ones that may be just getting started. So working with bigger artists rather than small artists are more difficult to work with. I guess they're asking, is there a difficulty based or related to the size of the artist you're working with? I don't know.
That's a broad question.
Yeah, I guess I was. What'd you say?
There's a lot of aspects.
Yeah, there's too many factors. Oh.
Like in terms of what like I don't know. That's
Yeah, I would just say that people are difficult to work with or not difficult to work with on a lot of things, and one of those factors might be their size or where their ego is at. But I don't think it's a determining factor. I don't know about you.
yeah. I think it's either like better or worse. I don't know. I think every artist has their thing that could be like potentially bothersome, and you kind of just have to like learn how to work around it or how to like just accept them for how they are. But I don't know if size is really. I don't know. I feel like a lot of it comes from the inside, so I don't know if like how big you are of an artist.
Yeah, it's whether how hands-on they are with it.
Mm-hmm. We also
And
have,
that could be a small band or a big band. And I've worked with small bands who, like right off the bat, they have a vision in mind and they want to stick to it. And then I've had big bands that I've toured with where come in and it's pretty much, hey, like we know exactly what we want. This is what we want, and vice versa. Big bands that are just like, nope, we hired you for what you do, so just do your thing. And then same with smaller bands. So I think it just depends on the project and the people that you're working with.
I don't think it depends on their size much. Also, we have Christian in chat and Bridget. If you guys know Christian, Bridget is friends with. And then Christian said, "Wow, Lewis, Carter, and Bridge in one room. What is this? A crossover episode? Love to see it." That was pretty funny. We got a lot of people. We have Michelle here as well. A lot of people here. Thanks everybody for coming out and supporting. If you're just joining us, we have different photographers from the LGBTQIA plus community talking about mostly music photographer. That's our kind of everybody's thing they have in common here. So we're talking about just experiences. And there was a question I want to ask that I saw. Oh, we have this thing that we kind of ask everybody that comes on here. And I know you guys, we're talking specifically to when you travel. This one is a little more lighthearted, but do you guys use shower shoes or not use shower shoes?
Shower shoes for sure.
No athlete's foot. We don't want that.
Thank you. I work at a summer camp every summer. I feel like it's required.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some days if there's venue showers that are real gross, even with shoes, I'll just be like, I'll baby wipe shower. I'm not getting anything. There's some in Europe especially that next time I know that if I go there, I'm taking a bottle of bleach with me. I'm going to go to the local shop and just buy it because some of them are nasty. Like even with like flip-flops, I'm just like, I don't want to put my feet or my body near any of that. So
That's pretty funny.
But yeah.
Yep, never done shower shoes before.
Me neither.
I mean, hey, if it works for you.
It's funny. I love how like if it's like when people do or don't do it. I love how it's never like people are just super polar on it. They're like, how do you not use shower shoes? Or the other people are like, how do you use shower shoes? Like, it's never somebody's like, whatever. But yeah. Bryce, your feet. Shayzilla. Who's Shayzilla? Is that one of your friends, Bryce? Or do I know that name? Maybe I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of people in chat today. Thank you guys. What was I going to say? I don't have any more specific questions. If you guys have any in chat, go for it. I don't know. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? Like now that we have this, I know that like this situations don't happen, obviously organically. Like 6 people talking online or 4 people that you relate to. But do you guys have anything you want to talk about?
I was curious to know how you guys thought about different, like the sizes of touring teams. Like, because I feel like there's a very different experience touring with, like 4 people versus like 8, 9, 10 people. Like it's been. I think my world is I'm slightly more in the electronic world, so that those teams tend to be like really small.
Mm-hmm.
Like last tour was
fly groups
was tops 5 people, like 5, 6 people, because all the setup is just all on one little like.
There's not much to do.
Push buttons. But yeah, I just didn't know what you guys were thought about that. Just
in general, like the groups, or what in regards to like what it's like traveling with different sizes groups and how.
Just like the kind of if the size of the team like affected like your like either like how much you like the tour or like just the dynamic of it all, or if I don't know. Like
feel more
how big teams are usually.
I feel more disconnected on bigger tours only because everyone has their spots. So, I'll go to production and work with the production people. But I still feel very hands off from like, the merch people and the stage people because I don't interact with them because most of the time they're working, from load in until showtime. They're, on the clock already going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like one of my favorite tours I've done has been with like an artist who was doing some fly days, and there were only about 6 people total on the tour. And I really liked it because everyone got along and we were all, really close by the end of it. But I can see how that might not be good if you don't get along with everybody and there's only 5 people that you have to see every day.
Yeah, small numbers, high variance.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that I just started like really touring last year. I did like some smaller tours or like weekends before then.
Congrats, by the way. That's awesome.
But so like I tour with a pop artist, and we like open up for bigger pop artists. So my touring experience with her has been the first time it was just me, her, and 2 band members, and that was really fun and interesting. And the second time I toured with her, it was just me and her best friend. So really just 3 of us, and we were just all picking up the slack everywhere. But so that was interesting. But then like on the other hand, I tour with a band and we're in a bus and it's a big crew. So like I don't know if I prefer one over the other, but they're definitely very, very different. But touring with just me and the artist and her best friend was definitely like a much more
so much
extreme.
Easier to photograph. I feel like
easier for sure, but also it's like we're all picking up the slack everywhere, and it's much more emotional and like more reliant on just like each other rather than like the 11-person crew. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that made any sense, but just different experience.
It made sense. What was I going to say? People wanted to know, or I forget the name that they asked, but they wanted to know what you guys have been doing, how you guys have been handling quarantine. I don't know if you guys are shooting or if you have projects you're working on, if you have anything you want to promote in a not #ad kind of manner. You're more than welcome to do that.
Like, are you guys shooting right now? I'm curious to know just from where you guys are living, if you're able to shoot in your city or town.
I've shot like 2 things.
And you're in LA?
Yeah, but that just also might be a me thing, not an LA thing.
Yeah.
I just don't trust people very much. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I haven't been shooting a whole lot. I had an artist that just recently put out some music, and they had sent me some physical copies to just do like physical promotion, like for deluxe vinyl and cassette. And actually, next week is my first gig back. Trivium's doing a live stream at Full Sail, and so I'm hired
cool.
on for the week to just like get the setup and rehearsals and everything like that. So that'll be my first band thing.
That's gonna be awesome.
But yeah, I haven't shot a whole lot besides that, just kind of here and there.
I've been doing.
I'm shooting a vegan restaurant next week.
There you go.
I'm taking pictures of all their food, and then they said I can keep it all, and I don't know if I have room in me for that.
Bunch of to-go boxes.
Yeah, and I did an engagement shoot the other week with Brian Cox. I don't know if you know, he's the photo video guy for Bring Me.
Oh, nice.
So I did his engagement shoot. They actually just got married today, him and his fiance.
Congrats, Brian. That's awesome. How lovely.
Then I did my friend's graduation shoot too, because just moved back to the US because she was studying over here. So, but yeah, it was. But that's it. The rest of the time I'm in my pajamas, just probably watching Netflix and staring out the window. But yeah.
Well, good job exploring other things. Go, Lewis. My bad.
Doing like weddings and stuff. I did a wedding with Jordan Knight 2 weeks ago, but other than that, I've been like starting my own plant shop. That's about it.
I love that so much.
Yo, how do we buy your plants? Let's drop that.
So,
Is there a URL we can drop?
there's an Instagram that you could drop, and I'll be posting updates this weekend. And
Make sure you show us that plant growth.
Growers Not Showers is the plant shop name.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And there's actually a giveaway starting tonight.
God damn it. I take it back. Everybody else can promote what they're doing except for Liz.
I have to do something with my hoarding problem. So
Growers Not Showers.
It's
It's such a good name, but so dirty. Jesus.
I told you, I'm very much like on that gay talk all the time. So
Yeah, man. Hey, you have brand awareness. You know your brand, and you're doing it. Let's go.
I mean, you also wore a Kim Kardashian hat all of Warped Tour, so I'd say it's still on
Kim
brand for
Kardashian
you.
crying. Kim Kardashian crying.
Yes, yes.
You wore a Kim Kardashian crime Warped Tour hat? I never knew that.
Oh, you've probably seen it for sure.
It's a look.
I just didn't actually look at it.
That's
It was
iconic.
the look. It was the look.
I'll have to check it out.
There's a picture of it on my Instagram right now because I actually lost the hat and I'm very saddened by it.
How do we get you a new one?
Why don't you just make a t-shirt that's a picture of the hat?
I don't know. I don't want the Kardashians to start coming for me. So
I will say you're one of the funniest people I've ever hung out with. Oh, wow. Okay, we got links to everybody's socials via Captain Lasagna. If you guys want, here's everyone's socials, by the way. Thank you. A big line of purple text just appeared. I know it's
Now,
Captain.
does Captain Lasagna like lasagna or no? Or is it just a fake name? That's
I
what
don't
wanna-
know. He's never told us the name and reasoning behind his name, but I think it's a funny name.
I'd hope that they like lasagna.
Tell the queers the meaning.
He lives on. Next, you can order him online, Amber. You don't have to wait till you're in Florida. Right? You did delivery, Lewis, right?
yeah.
I saw delivery.
I also do local pickup though, but I mean, not many people live in Florida.
Not many people live in Florida. You guys are rocking the numbers right now, right? Stay inside.
Yeah. Yeah, we're booming here.
Yeah. It's crazy. You're booming there. Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race all day long.
What'd you just say?
I said, other than plants right now, I think I know I've been tuning into RuPaul's Drag Race with Ellie and Bryce.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Weekly updates.
Yep,
Acacia.
every Friday night.
RuPaul's Drag Race. I never watched that. Should I be watching?
Yes, always.
I don't know.
Baby.
You just
Loose.
have to dive in, Adam. You just have to do it.
I'm trying to think what I just watch people play Magic the Gathering on Twitch all day. That's where I'm at. I think that's the most opposite of RuPaul's Drag Race you could get.
Hey, I mean, I've heard Bob the Drag Queen is a huge gamer.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go. I have a really good friend who does drag, so maybe I need to learn because I don't know more about what he actually does. Bryn's here too. Hi, Bryn. Cool. Well, I mean, we're coming up on an hour. Is there anything you guys want to? I will say I liked the vibe of this chat. I feel like everybody was super respectful, relaxed, and I felt like I got to just hang out with 5 new friends. I don't know, for an hour, which is cool.
Same.
Good
Good
vibe.
vibes, guys. Good vibes.
Nothing but good vibes over here.
Good vibes. And Bryn says gay vibes only. Big fan of Rue.
Happy Pride, y'all.
Yeah, everybody say thank you to everybody here. If you guys want to talk to any of them, or these people are all here because, well, I think they're a good representation of like a leader and somebody who in the community does a good job of portraying themselves online and in person and professionally. So you can reach out to them if you have any questions. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help. They're here because they want to be. It's not like I paid them. It's not like any of us are getting paid. Just here to kind of do community stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
this was
so
great.
Thank
Good
you
little
so much.
chat.
Opening this platform for us.
Say what? Oh yeah, of course. If you guys ever want help with streaming or help with Twitch or Discord, let me know. I'd love to. I don't know if you guys need any help with doing your own platforms. Let me know. But
Thank
yeah,
you. Appreciate that.
of course. And hopefully we can hang out when it's safe. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn
That'd
this.
be nice.
Let's wait. Can we raid a Magic player? FP.
I love how anxious we all are. Just like.
Do you guys know? Do you guys know? Do you guys know what rating is?
Every other person to speak.
Do you guys know what rating is on Twitch?
No.
Mm-mm.
So basically, what it is we take like I'm gonna take everybody that's watching this and put them on another channel, and then that person it's alerted. So it's kind of how like Twitch is like a giant community in that way, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go help out this other streamer. It's kind of cool. F Paul. But I have a friend who streams Magic that we're all gonna go to, and he's gonna be very confused. That's gonna be really funny. FPA.
Wait.
What's Magic? It's like a card game.
Sorry.
You don't have to. No, it's probably better that you don't know. Don't apologize.
It's online?
You can play it online, yeah, but it's a card game in real life.
Oh.
I think I spelled his name right. All right. Well, yeah. So these people are gonna raid to him, and he's gonna be like, "What is going on?" But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna turn off the stream now once this happens. But don't leave, guys, because we're still gonna talk for a sec. That's okay. Okay. 1 second. We're not offline yet.